Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back from the ad break. You are still watching Prime Life. Now, tonight we have the honor of being joined by Jenna Skews, and today we're going to be speaking about her inspiring story of perseverance and hope. Now, Jenna is a shining example of the united by unique message, which calls for cancer care to be tailored to each individual's unique needs. Now, Jenna, a breast cancer survivor and advocate, found solace and strength in the Breast Health Foundation after she found a malignant sarcoma resulting in a life-saving mastectomy in 2012. Now, her journey, and this was in her matric year, this is such an inspiring journey, and this is something that I'm really looking forward to actually hearing from her, considering today that it's marked annually as the World Cancer Day, and we remember millions and millions of people worldwide whose lives have been touched by cancer. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on Prime Live.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. It's a definite pleasure. So now I just want us to get straight into it. Can you tell us about how you discovered the sarcoma and what the process was like to be diagnosed? Was it a different kind of experience? Is it different to how other people kind of discover that they have cancer? Walk us through the journey of you actually finding out.
Absolutely. So I was in my grade 11 year, and I was studying for exams, and I had a necklace on, and I was just playing with my necklace, and then I felt something on my chest, and I discovered that I had a lump in my breast. And from there, it kind of followed on from there. So as a 17-year-old girl, I phoned my mom, because what else do you do? And she said, Jen, it's probably nothing, but let's go get it checked out. And so doctor's appointments started, and it started by going to my local GP, then going and getting an ultrasound, getting a biopsy, and following on from there with those results. So it follows the same procedure as any breast cancer would. It's just specifically that this is rare, that it's not classified as a normal traditional breast cancer. It's classified as a sarcoma.
So a sarcoma is not necessarily widely known as, other types of breast cancers or cancers that we know of. Can you tell us exactly, and the viewers at home, what exactly it is and how is it different from other types of cancers?
Sure. So a sarcoma is a cancer that's in the connective tissue, your fatty tissue in your body. So it can happen anywhere within your body, and it would come up as a lump or bump. Whereas breast cancer, traditional breast cancer, is in the ducts and the glands. This is just in the fatty tissue, and that's why it acts a little bit differently to breast cancer, and they medically classify it differently to breast cancer. I was very lucky in my journey because it was very much early detection, and I was able to have a mastectomy, which is removal of the breasts, and I didn't need any further treatment after that. So I didn't need chemotherapy or radiation, and in that I was exceptionally blessed.
That is so inspiring. So basically, it's not necessarily something that forms only in the breast. It can be anywhere in the body.
That's it.
Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that. So from your experience, what is it exactly that made you want to actually help other people and be there for people that might have, or people that are actually experiencing the same problem?
Well, when I started my journey and I had my surgery, I was in matric. I was very quiet about what was going on. I didn't tell all of my friends in school what was happening. I said I got a dangerous lump removed. I didn't tell everyone that it was cancer. I didn't tell everyone that I had a mastectomy because emotionally I wasn't ready for those questions. I wasn't ready to deal with it. I was in matric and I was just learning to accept my own body, and now it had changed so much. So I didn't tell those around me about what was going on, and I didn't share my journey. And then I was introduced to the Breast Health Foundation, which is an organization of breast cancer survivors and warriors supporting those going through it. And I met these women that were proud of their story. They were proud to be a breast cancer survivor, a cancer survivor. And I learned to be able to talk about what I was going through. I learned that there's strength in sharing what you're going through, and I can be proud of what I've been through. And that was how I was introduced to the Breast Health Foundation. And my passion really started there.
That is so, inspiring. I keep saying the word inspiring because cancer isn't something small, and it's definitely, considering your age at that time, you were going through a lot. You were in matric. Someone who's in matric is also stressed. It's the most stressful time of a young adult. So can you take us through the moment you found out, the emotions that you were going through, and how you actually picked yourself up to be able to actually get through the year as a matriculant?
So at the time that I was diagnosed, I went onto autopilot. I call it autopilot, where you're not emotionally dealing with what's going on, but you're going through the motions. You're doing the next thing because you have to do it. And that's how I was able to get through surgery. And it was only after surgery and after healing that I started emotionally dealing with what had actually happened. Of course, I had matric at the same time. And if I look back now, I can see that I was probably pretty withdrawn from my matric year. And I was on a little bit of a different wavelength or perspective. I had a different perspective to my classmates, but that's just because I was in a different space and I was dealing with different things. It took me a while to understand what I'd actually been through and process it. I had art as a subject, and that was quite therapeutic for me as well. And then finally starting to talk about it with the ladies at the Breast Health Foundation was what got me emotionally finally dealing with it.
That's definitely a great story of, I think, overcoming, obstacles and sometimes what we call setbacks, especially at that time of your life. You were just starting to, see the world differently. You were growing, looking forward to, has it changed that experience? Has it changed the way you maybe looked at your future for a while?
Absolutely. 100% it changed. Experiencing cancer changes your perspective on life. You don't worry about the small stuff so much. You don't get caught up in the gossip or the nitty-gritties. You don't get caught up in all of those things, and you try and find happiness in the small things. I had a plan to start studying, and I did carry on studying. But I was lucky that I was able to use what I did study then within the Breast Health Foundation.
And before I let you go, for viewers at home who are watching right now, for someone that has just been diagnosed and they don't know how to cope with the news, or someone that has a friend, a family member, how can they cope with such news, and also how can they best show up for those they love?
So I think for someone that's just been diagnosed, take it one step at a time. You don't have to run the whole race right now. Just deal with whatever comes up next, because you can manage whatever's next. You don't have to worry about the whole thing. Also accept that it's okay to not be okay. Understand that it's all right if you're not okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel all your feelings and let yourself feel those. Okay. And find a support group. Find people that have been through a similar journey to you, because you're not alone in it. For the caregivers and the family, it's often very difficult because you don't know how to support that person. And different people deal with things differently. Some people want a hug. Some people don't touch me. Don't ask me if I'm okay. So I would say, ask that person, how can I help you? How can I support you? Send them a message. Think of practical ways to help them, whether it's fetching the kids from school or making supper or doing a little grocery run and delivering it at their house. Think of practical ways to help that person, because it just takes a little bit off their plate.
That's so beautifully said. But before I let you go, also, I know I said that was the last question, but I want you to just tell viewers at home about the Breast Cancer Foundation. How can we reach out? How can people actually be a part of it? tell us about it before we let you go.
Oh, thank you so much. So the Breast Health Foundation, we're a not-for-profit. We've been around for 22 years, and we focus on awareness and education as well as support of breast health and breast cancer. So if you are looking to find out more information, or you have been diagnosed with breast cancer, have a loved one that's been diagnosed with breast cancer, then you can get a hold of us. We have support groups. We can support you. We can educate you on your type of cancer and treatment and the whole process.
Viewers at home, that was such an amazing interview that I had. It was so inspirational, and I hope you took something home with you, and you realize that with every single difficulty that you go through, you can actually overcome it. There's a community that actually is there to support you. But I'm not going to waste your time. We still have amazing content right here on Prime Live, so stay tuned, and we'll see you right after this ad break.